We're live. So, welcome to Darker Days Radio's 2021 end of year wrap up. I'm one of the regular hosts, Chris. I'm joined by Mike.
Hello, how's it going?
I'm joined by Chigg.
Howdy.
We're joined by Crystal's there.
Hello.
And we got Dave. And we've got James.
Yay.
Hey everybody.
Right. So yeah, that's basically what we're doing. We're doing an end of year wrap up of what we've done gaming wise, what's been interesting this year, general chit chats, shit posting. It's basically what the plan is. As you'll notice, I have a brand new camera. It's cool. It does stuff. I'm very happy. So I have bought a brand new camera, which touch wood. Obviously, at this time. Not with the way the stats are. It will be very good for doing events when I set up a whole rig for it. So at least I've got some time to get that sorted before, by the time it's safe to go out.
More cases in the UK now per day than we did at our peak earlier.
I know, it's ridiculous. It's completely ridiculous.
No, it's completely safe. It's all fine.
Oh, yeah,
Nothing
yeah.
bad's happening.
And I had the booster and that kicked my ass. Like, that was horrible. The pandemic has obviously meant 1 year has blurred into the one before. So I'm sure we'll say, oh yeah, that came out this year, and then we'll realize it was the end of 2020 when that came out. So what's been interesting? I'm going to ask Crystal, what's been fun for you this year? What's been the highlight this year, gaming wise?
I think actually being able to go to a convention this year, gaming wise, was great. I got to go to Gamehole Con. They required everybody to be vaccinated and wear masks at the convention. And as far as I'm aware of, nobody got COVID while we were there. Everyone was really super respectful of distancing, and when eating, either eating outside or making space for everybody. It was really good to be around people, even if it was in a cautious manner. And getting to talk with people that I connected with over the internet, and end of 2019 or during 2020, and now finally getting to see them in October. So,
well, that's more than I have done. Conventions have just not been a thing. I think it's been, it's been nice. We've had some virtual conventions to do. It'd be nice, as always, to keep doing that. Sad to miss out on Dragon Meet again, but I mean, until I finish learning to drive, then public transport, that's a nightmare. But it's good that you've been able to go to some conventions. And PAX Unplugged, they were pretty strict on safety, weren't they?
So strict. Yes, I was at PAX Unplugged this past weekend, and I was actually one of the staff working there as one of the enforcers. So yeah, everyone had to have a vaccination. Everyone had to have their masks on at all times. If I saw you trying to eat your corn dog in the hallway, I'd have to stop and say, hey, could you please put your mask on? And then you'd be like, oh, I'm trying to eat my hot dog. I'd be like, no, please just put it on. And I'd explain to them, you can go up to the food court, these certain locations, or just step outside. There's tables outside right there. Please do so and keep us all safe. And I know of one person that got that had tested positive for COVID after the convention. But I've seen many others that have tested negative. So it seems as though, first off, just masks work. Vaccines help quite a bit. And, just trying to keep your distance and be safe and that sort of thing definitely does help. But again, if people are not comfortable going to conventions, then don't worry about it. A lot of these conventions also have online components, so you can still, participate, even if you want to do it from a more safe location.
And I think it'd be good. I think even when, not to be a pessimist, but I don't see the pandemic disappearing anytime soon, even by
Nope.
the middle of next year. So,
No.
but I think the online components of conventions, I think, are going to stick around a lot longer, simply because people have got better at doing this type of stuff. So, why it removes the fear of missing out for a lot of people.
Yep.
We'll only see that improve, I hope. Mike, what was your highlight then?
Oh, so
Gaming-wise.
I feel like my year was. I mean, there's been a lot of highlights. I got into miniature wargaming again, which I haven't been playing, but I've been painting a lot, which has been very relaxing, that sort of thing. But I think the humorous thing is that my year started with Cyberpunk 2077 and just ended. I just beat Cyberpunk 2077 like a half hour ago. So I
Excellent.
think that was kind of a
That's
fun
your
way
entire
to.
year.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it just kind of enveloped the year. I mean, I didn't really play the game from like February until yesterday, but yeah, it was good to just like.
I
Finally
don't know
beat that
about you,
one.
Mike, but do you find it quite at times it's just quite a relaxing game because you can just drive around and see the sights?
It's so good. I love driving in the motorcycle. Although they, as we were discussing before, they've definitely improved the car driving mechanics as well. But the motorcycle has been solid gold from day one. And yeah, just going through the countryside, the hills, or driving through the city, dodging cars, and just checking things out is pretty epic. And if you get to the end of the game, there's some really cool kind of like vistas and scenes where you get to see different landscapes of the city from angles you haven't seen in the rest of the game, which is pretty neat. I think they did a good job. If you're interested in cyberpunk stuff, definitely check it out. I gave it a solid 8 out of 10.
Cool. I was very happy that the interview with Mike Pondsmith that I got cited by an article on the BBC about why cyberpunk is back in vogue, what with the Matrix, resurrection and everything. So it was nice to have that exactly cited.
Well, Mike Pondsmith was at PAX Unplugged running a Let Me Kill Your Cyberpunk Characters event. I don't really know the details. It was next door to me, but apparently a lot of people walked away with smiles on their face and dead character sheets.
Right. So, Dave, what was your highlight?
Gaming wise, the highlight for me has been actually getting to run a campaign of Alien. So I'm running Destroyer of Worlds at the moment over on my other thing that I do. And oh my God, Alien is so much fun as a game to run. Getting to grips with killing characters basically and not being afraid to do it, because the alien will just drop on your head and then you'll be dead and you won't know it. That's kind of been one of the main gaming highlights, I suppose, that I've been done. Also, Grim Harvest came out this year.
Yeah,
Was
I think
Litanies
it did,
this year? Yeah. So, getting to write one of the scenarios for Litanies of the Lost for Wrath and Glory, and that came out this year. That was really kind of cool to see. Like my name is like first writer on that scenario. It was really, really cool. Not really done any writing since then, mind you. I've not done any hobby since then either.
You finish up your thesis, mate. Like I can tell you from the end of my end of my thesis was stressful.
Oh yeah, I'm on the verge of a panic attack daily at the moment. I've got 3 months left.
I think you were saying like you were doing something, and then you get to the point where you've done the work, and you go, wait a minute, and then you find like a systematic error due to like a bit of coding. I've been there, and that just
puts horrendous. We just sent off the first paper to the journal for the referees. Came back, the referee had a question. The referee had a question about, I don't understand where the line's fitting on this graph. And I went into it and go, oh, actually, yeah, that's a really good question. Then looked at my code and went, oh, crap. My code was wrong. So the entire result was wrong. So I then spent 4 months rewriting that. That paper has now been published. It's now in the journal. It actually went into the journal yesterday on Friday. So
I love it when it's though a systematic error where if you do the correction, it doesn't actually change the conclusions because it just filters through and it's like it's just like a short adjustment. Oh no, yeah.
This one was actually wrong. Paper 2, there was
cool.
a systematic, which is kind of it's been corrected now, but. Yeah.
That's cool with the Cubicle 7 thing because like we've played a lot of Cubicle 7 stuff over the last year on Darker Days. We'll likely do some more soon. I've got something planned.
I'd love to run Grim Harvest at some point.
I was
a lot of stuff.
Very happy to have written on Horned Rat. That was great to contribute with like Graham Davis and like the entire Cubicle 7 team on that, and like we never got the entire complete enemy within campaign, and you finished running the first part of that. I guess we're gonna have to return to the second part at some point.
It didn't all go wrong at the end of that at all. It was all perfectly fine. You guys didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, except for Francesco got beaten up and mostly died off screen horribly. Cool. James,
jumped into the throat of a great demon.
Yeah, it got worse after you left, James, Chris. It got real. I mean, that was Francesco was the turning point to everything just falling apart, man.
Honestly, you died at the best time.
Crystal now runs the underworld, basically. I think Mary now runs the underworld. Ben jumps down the throat of a great demon. Klaus never found his pig.
Oh no!
The greatest tragedy, to be honest.
That is a great tragedy. So, James, what was your gaming highlight?
Oh dang! I mean, there was some real good moments this year. Like I went back to Resident Evil 8. Obviously, like was good fun for horror. Like I loved the movie mashup feeling of it. Like lots of little movies. I went back to Resident Evil 7 to do the DLC before 8 came out. Did you know in one of those pieces of DLC you wear power fists to wrestle a swamp zombie?
Oh, really?
Yes. As an old an old uncle slightly removed from the rest of the family goes to wrestle swamp zombies with a power fist. Like,
fine.
I hadn't realized that was a part of Resident Evil 7.
Neither did I. I thought I just went to a mansion and shot zombies.
Resident Evil 7 is.
I'm going to go find this.
Resident Evil 7 is a fantastic game, and if you don't have a console to play it, it is on like Stadia, and it's great. It's perhaps I think the best Resident Evil game there is.
Yeah, there's some good stuff there, but it's not my high point of the year. It was a very good one. Obviously, it was a Monster Hunter game, and I am horrendously biased. I'm going to say I love the Monster Hunter games. That's all good, but I don't really need to go into it. Inscription has been my best gaming thing of the year. It's a deck building roguelike with like a really kind of creepy vibe. And it does some really, really cool stuff. If you like card games and deck building and roguelikes, it does some really neat stuff, which I honestly can't talk about because then I will because the stuff that it does is the thing that's cool. So people should go and look at it. Like, I mean, maybe I could stream some at some point.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you can make sure you've got the keys and you can stream some to Dark Days. That'd be good. Get you set up for that. Wicked.
Yeah. Oh, and Goblin Quest. I played some Goblin Quest this year. That was amazing. Go and buy Goblin Quest, people. Like, if you want something quick and fun to play, Goblin Quest is great.
Expect to die.
Yes. Yes.
Excellent. Chigg.
Well, for me, the best gaming thing of the year was being able to get back and game with my local gaming group in person. You know, we had to take a year off because of, the plague. So actually getting to sit down at a table with my friends and some dice and some character sheets and, play a game, that was real nice. Highlight of my year.
Excellent.
How about you, Chris?
Yeah. Let's think. I think most probably the best highlight was I think getting out all of the community content we've done this year, and in particular the stuff for V5, because that stuff has existed in limbo for a fucking age, and it's complicated. I'm not going to get into the reasons why, but to have Ascension Night and Make Blood Boil in a as official as can be format is really good. And I think we've had we're inching close to bronze medal, but given that they're pay what you want, a lot of people are not paying what you want. They're downloading. I think we've had like 600 plus downloads of those two scenarios collectively. So, and that's been really good. I mean, people have reviewed them. They would choose those as their default intro scenarios. I think Make Blood Boil is mostly the stronger of the two. Otherwise, related.
At PAX Unplugged, Nick was running Ascension Night for his demo game. Yep.
Oh, nice.
Excellent.
Yeah, and I was supposed to run Project Blacklight, but things got derailed real quick.
Yeah.
It was a great time, though.
I'll have to talk to Nick about that and see how it went. The other cool thing I think was most probably did Children of the Blood come out this year? Yeah, it did.
Yeah,
it did early.
It did. Yeah. So that's like the first official V5 stuff. And I think one of the reviews, like a number of the characters got called out as being pretty wicked. Again, that the life of that project is complicated due to approvals and so forth. But yeah, there's been a lot of. Oh no, actually, ultimate highlight. Sorry, fuck all the rest. Was being a stretch goal to be unlocked on the Iron Kingdoms, Borderlands, and Beyond Kickstarter. I think that was pretty cool. It didn't get unlocked, but it was just nice to be an option for that. It has meant that learning D&D has been hard to learn. Like, I think it's
You're
the
doing
ultimate
great with it, though.
deep end to go into. So it's a deep end to go into, and I have had anxiety kind of issues seeing some of the material I've written like previewed. That's like, oh no. Yeah. So I would say that was the highlight, because Iron Kingdoms is even though I will personally say D&D 5e is not my favorite system, but contributing to Iron Kingdoms is really cool because it's like an excellent setting that right now is going through a lot of changes to get it to its next form.
I still remember the day in Manchester Games Workshop when you introduced us all into Iron Kingdoms, because you'd gone to a shop in Alti and you'd brought the Protectorate starter set and you came in and you made us all play it, and we're all like,
Protectorate.
Oh,
I didn't
wow.
know. I bought Signar, and I bought that from I bought Signar from Fanboy 3, and yeah, we may have played games in a certain GW store I was working at on staff games nights, because
the door was closed. Student people weren't allowed in.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean that's ages ago. That's like back in 2020, 2002. Yeah, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And I still remember that, and when we played it, just loving it, and it's still on that small scale. I still think it's a really, really solid game. It's just now overly bloated.
So, I would say, based upon that, what's everyone's favorite looking RPG product to have come out in the last year? I know that's going to be really fucking tough.
In the last year?
Yeah.
Does it have to be something we haven't worked on?
I think something you haven't
That's
worked
going to
on
narrow mine down a lot.
I think something you haven't worked on is mostly
Okay.
fairer choice.
There are RPG products that came out in the last year that you haven't worked on. Name 3.
I'm trying. Okay.
While Crystal thinks, I think what's also quite good is like, I think this last year has built on for us as Dark Days Radio a lot more from the previous year. That we've got the self-publishing for like V5. I think that's really let us get some more content out that we've had like lurking around, and that everyone seems to be gaming wise it's taking off a bit more. Like we've got stuff published, or we're involved in certain projects. Or James, your computer game career is like you've had you're in the process of upgrades.
Well, I mean, I suppose I'm going to toot my own little trumpet a little bit here.
You should toot your own trumpet.
Yeah. I got a pretty big promotion this year, kind of a double promotion. So I'm now a lead games designer, which I knew I was doing good work, but I was quite surprised to actually get recognized for it. And that has like the amount of work I'm having to do for my actual like in-office stuff has absolutely clobbered all of my energy for doing stuff outside of work. So I didn't release any of the PDFs I wanted to this year. I didn't finish the card game I was working on. I haven't written the role play. I might not have mentioned. I'm kind of idly trying to write a tabletop role play game as well. I did a little just like system stuff and setting things, and I was like, why not? So I've got lots of like half-finished, half-boiled stuff.
But
that's the way, isn't it? Yeah.
Cool. That's really good. I mean, I've jumped ship in the last few weeks to a new job as now a senior software engineer, which is nice. Cool. Anyway, Crystal's choice product.
All right. So I'm actually going to have to, it is a 5e product, but it takes like a spin on the trope where it's called Good Strong Hands, and it's by Craig Campbell. And basically you have to save your fantasy world because it is crumbling in upon itself. So it's very similar to like the Neverending Story, where the world itself is actually destined to crumble upon itself, and you are the characters in that world trying to stop it.
That sounds awesome.
And it's named after the saddest part of the Neverending Story. So
I know, which is why like that's kind of what pulled me in at first, was that quote being the title of the game, because no matter how strong his hands are, he can't stop it from happening. So so that's my shout out. I know, right?
Mike, favorite product?
I think I don't know about favorite, but the one I'm most interested in reading, just because I've read all the others, is that there's a new Twilight 2000 edition that's out. I got the big tin for it, so it'd be kind of interesting just to check that out. See what's going on. I don't think I'm going to run any Red Dawn RPGs in the near future, but I don't know. I'm always just kind of interested in how they do the survival mechanics and that kind of stuff in those games.
Cool. Chigg?
My favorite RPG that came out this year, I'm gonna go with Technocracy Reloaded for Mage. It's a solid product. Still waiting on the physical book, but read through the PDF, really enjoyed it. Like the way that they updated things, and it's really good. It's fun. If you haven't read it, do so.
Cool. Dave?
I think it was this year. May not have been. There's so many that I've played. Like there's so many new games that I've played this year that I can't remember which ones are actually new this year.
Well, it doesn't have to be the game itself. It can just be a product for a game.
I don't even think there's any products for it. But it's Bluebeard's Bride.
Oh,
That actually came out in 2018
yeah.
because that, or 2017 actually, because
Whoa.
it was up for an award the same time that Pip System got their award for the
Okay.
Emmys.
Okay.
And that was
There was-
2018.
There wasn't a second edition that came out.
That was the
No,
second edition.
That was the second.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Yes.
never
I think
mind.
it just gained a lot of traction recently.
It gained a lot of traction because of the pandemic. A lot of people were playing it because of the safety mechanics built into it. It kind of felt like a very safe place to explore horror.
Yeah, yeah. I discovered it this year, so yeah, okay. It's not
I
a new game.
think there was an expansion that came out this year though for it, which kind of helped. It kind of expanded the world and added some more of the sisters into it. So I think there is an expansion that came out this year.
Yeah.
So still legitimate.
It's such an amazing game. It's very much a horror game. It's very, very, very dark horror, based on the French tale of the Bluebeard's wives, and it is absolutely brilliantly feminist horror. But there are so many games that I've been playing that I've lost track of which they are. Obviously, Wesen, as we got told that it was on Wednesday.
Yeah.
That came out last year as well, but they've got the Kickstarter, so that'll actually probably be my product of the year because I'll get the alpha when the Kickstarter finishes on Monday. But I don't know. I can't think of anything specifically that came out this year that was the product for me. I've just had so much thrown at me this year that I can't remember what's what. That's me.
James, do you have a?
Yeah, so it kind of came across my radar this year. I saw a recommendation for this game called Dot Dungeon, and it's they like the art, like it's a pretty book, but the thing that sold me is some of the stuff, like their character classes. They do real weird stuff. So like the mage, for example, between sessions you can prepare 3 spells, and the way that you prepare spells is you get a real book and you highlight 3 sections in the book, and those are the spells that you can cast spells like that. And then once you've cast them, you cross them out. Can't cast those again. They're done. And all of the stuff, like the classes are very like small. There's like someone who can you channel power from your real life piercings and tattoos. Tattoos become summons and piercings become like physical buffs to channel. And I was just like, yeah, that sounds real weird, but also very like systems light. And that's the kind of thing my play group usually love.
Can you send me the link for that?
Yeah,
that
definitely.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, I'll send that around. But yeah, it's pretty neat. I haven't run it. I'm still kind of reading it because it only popped up on my radar very recently.
So James, what you're telling me is that to min-max in this game, I need to just go to the tattoo parlor, get a ton of piercings, ton of tats, and then I'll be the best. I'll have the best character ever.
I mean, there is a bit that says you don't have to really have them. If you can't or don't have any tattoos or piercings, but have always wanted them, make up a few. Like your character,
my gosh.
you totally
they've
have
thought
them
of
now.
everything. They've thought
Mike,
of everything.
you need to get like a whole bunch of temporary tattoos.
Just exactly what I was
Like-
about to say.
Okay, I'll
Rebel
get
ones,
like a
yeah.
tiger right here, and then I'll get like a Pop-Tarts tattoo here. And
No,
like
Pop-Tarts, that's from
Avengers all up
Kellogg's.
and down your arms.
right, no Pop-Tarts. You're right.
Aw.
I
Yeah.
have the anchor somewhere because that's the new thing. That's the thing that all the hipsters do. You
The
basically
what?
become a hipster, aren't you, Mike?
Yes.
He-
In the
he
name
is-
of in the name of better gaming, yes.
Yeah.
Right. The one I'm going to pick is because I think because it visually is a really cool book, and I think Mortbook didn't really grab me too much. Like it's graphically nice, but I think I'm always kind of with OSR and kind of like what it is and everything. But Vast Grim, I think, is really cool looking. Just graphically, and then as a sci-fi horror it's just seems different enough from trying to be like yet another, it's trying to be D&D, because like Mortbook to me it's still ultimately a very simple kind of D&D type experience. So Vasgrim, I think, is my pick. I'd like to run some of that soon. Yeah. Okay, cool. What else can we chat about?
What
are we
about
looking
the future?
forward? Exactly. What
Yeah,
are we looking forward
forward.
to next
Yeah.
year?
2022. Oh god damn, a month from now I'll be 39.
You'll soon be with the rest of us in the 40s.
Yeah, tell us about what you did in the war, Grandpa. 39.
I say the rest of us, but there's not many of us here in the 40s. So.
Yeah, looking forward. What's coming up? What's going to be fun gaming releases in the next year?
I'm looking forward to Elden Ring. It's console gaming. It's not tabletop gaming. So I'm a dirty traitor. But I love me some decaying civilizations wrapped up in the rot of the decadence and stuff. That's a very Dark Soulsy vibe.
James, that's the one that George R. R. Martin's working on while he doesn't write Winds of Winter, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
It did have a little delay. It's not had a big delay yet. It's had a little one. So
well, if George R. R. Martin's working on it, expect big delays.
So a little delay here is only 6 years. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not quite Kingdom Death yet. It's not quite at those kind of levels. But we did actually have some Kingdom Death shipped, and
we did.
I'm excited for the Gambler's Chest turning up. I'm also horrified because I'm currently still. I was in transit between one job and another before lockdown started, and so I am still living. I'm living at my mum's house like a real grown up, with all of my stuff in storage. So where the heck the Gambler's Chest is going to go, and if the rest of the stuff ships as well, I'm dead. I'm just going to be flattened under boxes.
I'm likely to be in a different country, so I'm going to have to spend hundreds on the shipping costs, extra shipping costs. So.
Gambler's Chest is basically Kingdom Death advanced, and it brings with it basically the box, which was okay to put into context, right? This is a Kickstarter that brought in $10 million, right? So this is the Kingdom Death second Kickstarter, and the first one brought in like $1 million. So this brought in like 10 million. God knows what it brought in on the back kit as well, like late pledges. And it just shipped out for Black Friday all the 1.6 upgrade packs plus the 1.6 version of the game. And Gambler's Chest was meant to be this like random table where every time a stretch goal got hit would be rolled upon and that would be added to it. But Adam Poots didn't have a chance to do any of that because every single stretch goal got ram raided
within the first 24 hours or something.
Within the first 24 hours. So it basically became like if you pledged and backed to get the Gambler's Chest as well, which I think cost $50 at the time. Now, if you late pledge to get it,
it's $400
when the backer kit is open. I think it's like $250 to like
it's pushing
claim
near
it.
$400 now.
Something like that. It's ridiculous, and it contains an absolute fuck ton. And I think the box is about half the size of the Kingdom Death core box, which is insane in its own right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's going to be cool. I think that's a fair choice, James. That's a pretty great pick.
Yeah.
Mike, what are you looking forward to?
I don't think there's any products that I'm really looking forward to. What I think I'm most looking forward to, I'm going to give out a shout out here, is more episodes of the Realm of Fire podcast. I think it's just it's a great jam. I really love the opinions of Rob and Brendan. And, I think as I've been drawn back into the Warham's orbit, I think they are a great guiding light for that hobby right there. So definitely more of that.
Yeah, they don't have much time for like
Recording.
net listing and tournament play and shite like that. But it's more about let's have fun with the setting in the context of miniatures. I think at some point I'll mostly be on again to chat with Rob and Brendan about why Warcry is like the best game ever right now. It's a really solid system. Though I know Rob on there recently picked up Aeronautica Imperialis, which I also bought. I've got just over here. Let's just grab those. We can try a new feature with my camera as well.
Oh man! Oh, he's coming in.
At some point, you should, when everything is fine, you should come over, Chris, to Manchester, and we can get with Rob.
So coming in too fast.
We got one of these. You can see that. That's a Xiphon fighter that I've painted up as a Blood Angels because they're going to go with my Epic army. And these are more to scale with Epic 6mm figures than old stuff, old vehicles, wherever. That's a Storm Raven assault craft dropship. So
how does that compare to a Thunderhawk?
It's about half the size.
Oh, okay.
Thunderhawk is not. Storm Raven is stunty.
I can't even remember what this is fucking called, but
some of the Eldar things.
It's I think it's a Nightwing bomber, maybe.
Yeah, it's not the Void Dragon. The Void Dragon is a little bit longer, I think. That's more like a Nightwing.
And then I don't remember what these are called.
Another Eldar thing. Cool.
That might be the Void.
But these ones have, well, it's a bit hard to show, like, let's do that. Their wings, they've got a mechanism so that they can actually snap back.
What?
And snap back forward. So,
Forge World is next level with that.
Not Forge World.
And that's all plastic. That's just, well, yeah, it is technically Forge World because, yeah, Aeronautica comes under Specialist Games, so it's technically controlled by the Forge World team.
All the good stuff is Forge
like
World. Like
Necromunda as well. Yeah, so that's a good product choice, I think, Mike. It's good to be back in. Yeah, I'm in the same position. I mean, I'm painting stuff because I've got like Imperium magazine, which I really need to cancel my subscription for. But I keep seeing like stuff coming up for it now, and I'm like, ooh, okay, that's cheap.
Yeah, I've been painting some historical miniatures. Ooh, you can't see that very well. Ooh.
Focus now.
Are you going to play some Silver Bayonet?
I've got some stuff for Silver Bayonet. I need to find people to play it against.
I don't know where to begin with it. I'd like to paint something for it, but I don't know where to begin with it. Yeah,
you can just buy the Perry, like a box of Perry plastics. Usually the command sprues and the skirmishers are a good place to grab some models, and then just you convert them up. It's like
I just need to do kind of like do like grimdark sharp. That's basically what it is. It's horror sharp period.
Yeah. What if the 95th Rifles, the Chosen Men, were out there, but instead of shooting frogs, they were shooting frogs and vampires?
But that's a really good shout out. You could definitely use Never Going Home to use as an RPG for that kind of setting.
Oh, nice.
Cool. I'd really love to write something for it. That'd be wicked. Chigg, what's your looking forward?
There's a couple of games that I backed on Kickstarter that I'm looking forward to next year. First, like everybody else apparently in the free world, the Avatar RPG. Looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah. When we say Avatar, we mean Airbender, not Avatar as in blue.
I don't think James Cameron has any RPGs for that one yet. Give him 30 years or so. We'll get there. There was another one called The Hammer and the Stake, which is set in the 1920s. It's about Eastern European socialists taking back their country from Count Dracula.
Cool.
And the Chew, C-H-E-W, sorry, I bit my tongue earlier. The Chew RPG, based on the comics, uses the Forged in the Dark system from Blades in the Dark. I enjoyed the comics, so looking forward to that one as well.
Sweet. Yeah, it had a great first issue.
There's like 10 volumes. I'll let you borrow
I
them.
stopped at the first issue, but it was great. And yeah, I just have to...
I enjoyed it.
I mean, I'm just left wondering, like, what other epic great things happened in that series.
You should find out. Get yourself a Comixology subscription. Or let me loan you the books.
Crystal, products you're looking forward to? This can be stuff you've written on.
Okay. I think
basically anything that's released next year then for Crystal.
Right. I think one of the things that I'm looking forward to is and I did write on this one, but only for like small sections of it, is Frosthaven, which is part of the Gloomhaven series. I'm really hoping it doesn't
I've
get...
written something for that. It was
you did write
I've written something for it.
It might get tied up in all of the shipping stuff going on.
To put it lightly, but it is really fucked right now with trying to work out shipping and getting... I mean, it's a multi-component game. It's...
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts for that. I am looking forward to seeing the final products, and it comes with minis and stuff like that, which I love, and apparently have been collecting like Goblin, and nothing with Warhammer. It's all other minis. So that's because that's a thing. And then I think the other one is going to be I'm looking forward to Sirens coming out, Sirens Battle of the Bards, because it's so pretty. And I got to write one of the fiends, which is supposed to destroy the world, which is great.
Excellent. David, what product are you looking forward to next year?
A couple, again, like Chigg, it's like the Kickstarters that are coming through. So obviously there's going to be Mythic Britain and Ireland for Vesson, which will be coming out. There's two others. There's Salvage Union, which is done by Leylines Press. So it's a new game, mech post-apocalyptic game, really, really simple, really, really fun. Played the beta test as the first live stream a couple of days ago for Leylines Press, which was really cool. Great fun. If you like big guns and really simple systems on big mechs and hacking shit and weirdness and salvaging stuff in a desert in a post-apocalyptic world, brilliant game. Looking forward to getting my hands on that. But the big one for next year that I'm really looking forward to is Blade Runner.
Yeah.
So Free League are doing the Kickstarter next year. Some maybe Q3, I think it is, for Blade Runner as an RPG. And that's the one that's really getting me. So
let's hope it has a bit more legs than Altered Carbon. Because that
Free League, it will have legs. It's Free League. They seem to have the golden touch
I think the problem with Altered Carbon, it was maybe really tied its look to the Netflix series that basically got 2 seasons and died.
I think it got hamstringed by it.
Yeah.
There was a lot of issues with the series, but that came from the original RPG, and wasn't it based on the comic as well? So there's a lot of weird connectivities for where Altered Carbon came from. Then they did the stereotypes.
Too certain.
Yeah, they did a lot of stereotypes in the TV series, and the RPG was dreadful.
Those are questions for Pete when we can get him on the stream, because Pete knows a lot about Altered Carbon. Cool. Products I'm looking forward to next year. Oh God. Wrath and Glory, Imperial Cities, Caribbean, because I wrote on that. A lot on that, so it'll be great to see that in print. See what survives approval with Games Workshop, because though they're pretty cool. I think Games Workshop's actually pretty cool with the RPGs, given that there's a lot of world building that gets done thanks to it. Other products, RPG products. Ooh, it's quite a challenge. I look at there's
Champions of Destruction.
I can't say anything about that. That's under NDA. Crap.
Yeah, it's that too.
Bugger.
I think you can talk about a Chronicles of Darkness thing that you worked on. I'm pretty sure.
I can fucking talk about that. Yeah, I definitely want to see. It'll be good to see in print. Changing Lost the Hedge. So that's a book about the hedge, which is it's essentially going to be a book that expands, storytelling in the hedge, and obviously it's going to overlap with the dreaming lands, with the dream realms, because the hedge and the dream and dreams follow some of the same rules. There's a lot of funky weirdness in Changeling Lost, and the hedge is pretty scary for it. And there's some fun ideas in there, and
it's also a book that we've needed for the past 14 years. So thanks for writing it.
Yeah, right.
Glad it's coming out.
I'm having written on that. I feel like I'm mentally in the place to run a stream running Changeling Lost second edition, because I think the reason why I didn't feel confident was because the changes between first and second edition in Chronicles of Darkness with certain games is not so painful. Like Vampire the Requiem, it's pretty much the same. Werewolf, it actually gives you more tools to focus on the pack and their territory. You can still tell the same stories. Mage, much the same. If anything, they just give you more systems to do rotes and so forth. Changeling has more changes that change fundamentals about what the weird is and how pledges are done and so forth. So it'd be really good to run it, but I think I would need to run it with a bunch of people like yourselves who understand Chronicles of Darkness well enough that I don't need to worry about telling you the basic rules, so I can focus on the nuances, the weirder mechanics. And it'd be good to use the Venice setting for that. I just need to come up with a plotline. But what I do want to run next year, though, because having read through it, is Hunter the Vigil second edition. I really, really want to run a Berlin-based Vasco echelon team of basically your kind of CIA, FBI-esque hunters who and kind of emulate the Hannibal TV series, where the scariest thing is just people serial killers with interesting ways of murdering people. That's the simplest way to put it.
So what you're saying is that you already have ideas for streams for us to do as Darker Days next year.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, cool.
That's sorted. And I think, and that's a good point, actually. I think on the streaming side, we're a lot better set up than we were previously. I think because our little family of streamers has grown. So we've got some trusted faces, and I've got some things planned that are Wrath and Glory related. It would be fun to return to Wrath and Glory at some point with the team. It'd be fun to play some other stuff.
I would like to continue on a little bit with our Never Going Home scenario too.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, there's lots of games we could definitely run. I think obviously it's making sure we don't run it's running campaigns that are get to the gist of the game, but also aren't sprawling and long. I think we've learned a lesson with certain campaigns. Like Warhammer needs to be driven along maybe a little bit faster. Wrath and Glory, likewise. I think I'm going to wait until a certain book is out and then I can use that. I don't know what else does anyone want to run or have ideas to run?
I would love to run Chariots of the Gods for you guys. So Alien Chariots of the Gods.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be really good.
Yeah, the intro scenario. Do you see, if you watch the Destroyer of Worlds, that's the second part to it, kind of. So they kind of lead into each other. But Chariots of the Gods is the intro scenario, and it's phenomenal as a scenario. And who doesn't love running around in space and not being able to hear being screamed and dying?
Mm-hmm.
When it comes out, I would love to run Goblonia. So that's
is that?
Yeah, what's Goblonia? I thought everybody knew. I just didn't want to be the one to say.
Okay, so that's it was on Kickstarter and I was a stretch goal for it. But you essentially play goblins in a goblin run city, very labyrinth-esque. But the Fey High Court has taken over for the protection of goblins. And Queen Titania is in control of everything. And you basically play goblins trying to stick it to the man as best as you goblin can.
I love it. That sounds great.
I saw the Kickstarter and it looked fucking amazing.
I got to write a scenario about collecting mushrooms. It was great.
That's quite related to a book that's coming out next year, I think, from Cubicle 7 for Soulbound, which is the Force Champions of Destruction. So we've had out for Soulbound, we've had Champions of Order. Yeah, okay, play a Stormcast, go on. Play a fucking elf, whatever. And we've had Champions of Death, which was like play undead, play a ghoul, play, a vampire, play a ghost. Champions of Destruction allows you to play Soulbound as Uruks of various flavors, trolls, which is interesting because they're not the most Troggoths, they're not very with it in the head. Ogres, that's cool, but more importantly, goblins.
Gargants.
So again,
you play Gargants.
Can you play as Gargants on it?
You can play as a Gargant.
That's insane.
Yeah, which is basically a giant but bigger.
So goblins seems to be a theme for next year, I think, is let's play the game at games as a band of goblins in various forms. And of course, also in Age of Sigmar, goblins are obsessed with mushrooms. So, yeah.
So in Age of Sigmar, are goblins and orcs made of mushrooms, or is that just 40K?
I'm
made of meat, but I also eat vegetables. I want to make that clear.
No, I don't think they are in Age of Sigmar anymore.
I don't think they are fungoid in Age of Sigmar now.
Oh
no, the Gits like any kind of mushroom that makes weird things happen, and the orcs just
doesn't
punch things. They're either cunning and sneaky, or sneaky and not cunning and sneaky, cunning and punchy, or punchy and cunning.
Cunning and brutal, brutal and cunning.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, that's a lot of cool stuff. We're almost at an hour here. What else can we say? What else has been other highlights of the last year?
A bunch of freelancers do a Nerdy Secret Santa every year where we kind of exchange board games and stuff like that. And this year I got Shadows in the Forest, where it's the board game where you literally play hide and seek. You turn off the lights, there is a small little lantern, and you move your characters around, and you have to hide behind trees and objects on the board and not get caught.
That sounds fun.
I am looking forward to playing it with my nieces and nephews over Christmas. So
excellent.
That sounds good.
When I went back to Norwich for a bit for certain reasons, I played I think it was called Weird Party or something like that. It was just a really simple card game done by the people who do Unstable Unicorns.
Yeah.
And it was basically you're trying to create the weirdest house party possible. And it was just it was so stupid and random and inane. But you ended up with a bear and a unicorn and a guy in a fluffy teddy costume at a house party, and the next person across had a vampire at theirs, and they lost because the vampire ate everybody.
Oh,
and it was just like you made a weird house party, and you invited all the weirdos that weren't invited to the other house parties.
That sounds like the succubus club parties for White Wolf at ShedCon.
Yeah, but this is clean. This was clean. This is for children.
Oh.
Okay.
This does not involve any of that.
You should try Costume Party Assassin. Super simple game where everybody has a meeple with a costume, and you draw a card, and that is your meeple. And then you move everybody around similar to Clue. And if you roll, you have to roll a dice to figure out what room you move into or out of. And if you roll black on the dice, you have to kill somebody in your character's room. And you can either draw from the pile of meeples that aren't taken by somebody, or you can just kill somebody.
You know what you could do with that, though, is you could then run it as long, you make everybody buy the costumes, and each time they change, they have to put on the costumes.
Oh,
as well.
we were going to cosplay as that for like the first Gen Con our group goes to. We were going to cosplay as Costume Party Assassin. So
like a good time.
Thinking of games, because I checked the virtual tabletop version that's available. I really want to run, I think it'd be great to do as a stream game, Leaders again, because that was fun, but complicated, where you only have one board in front of me and everyone looking at the camera. So with a virtual tabletop, it'd be good to play because it's a game that uses the app to do all your
oh, that's the app thing that we played. Okay,
yeah.
yes,
Did
I would be down for that.
Or was that just?
I think that was
we
just
played
us.
that. I think we played that privately. So I think if we can stream that with virtual tabletop, and the fact that my computer is powerful enough to run that and stream, then we'll be good. Because and I'm excited to see, actually, I don't know where they are with that. Rudy Games, who I met at Spiel like years ago, who make it, they're making a fantasy version of that with some proper minis. So
so getting to know the system is going to be good.
It'll be hopefully good that they get that out next year.
You want to talk about the tabletop, your Kingdom Death, because they're doing the
they're slowly building up their virtual tool. And another thing which is going to be arriving, I hope, in the next year is Crypt X by Inside the Box Games. So this is kind of like a murder mystery type game, puzzle that just arrives to you. It's just a single player puzzle. They're also doing a follow-up because they did a game called, let me just look this up, Inside the Box Games. They brought out last year a huge single player RPG. They brought out oh no, I can't find anything because they're updating their website. That's not good, or they've already done that and they've put it somewhere else.
It's not Alba you're talking about, is it?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I backed that.
Well, tell us about it.
It hasn't turned up yet. It's been delayed with shipping. Yay! So the book they're working on, because the book's going to be real big, it sounds like, to the point where they can't actually get it printed very easily. So it's mostly going to be coming from abroad, and there's you get a record sheet, and you can put stickers in the record sheet and stuff to keep track of things and run through stories. It sounded neat, and I think we've had an interesting time with talking to Outside the Box before. So I was
Pete's really great to chat to. I'm just looking at it on their website. So it's basically a choose your own adventure book. It is 19 different endings, post-war world. There's also some physical components. Which one's that? That's the paperback version. That's the hardback version. The paperback version is £15, which is pretty great.
Yeah.
It looks though absolutely ginormous and has a map, has character sheets, has tokens galore. Single player, yeah. Apparently, average session length is 10 minutes because obviously you're doing short play bits from it. Cool. Yeah. Have we exhausted our time of things we want to chat about, or is there anything else that's interesting?
Oh, I got a weird thing. So I got a little box here. There we go. Whoa. A friend of mine wanted to do a fan project based on some streamers from the UK called Hat Films, and they wanted to make a card game. So she asked me for help on just explaining some card game mechanics, and I ended up I couldn't stop myself, and I ended up helping her actually design it. So they got it printed and sent a bunch of the cards out and stuff. So it's a very, very limited run. But it's nice to actually have my first, technically that's my first my first published board, self-published board game, right? Super limited. I mean, if you're only sending it to the people who made it, is that even self-published? But yeah, one of their guys is a woodworker and made the boxes for everyone on the project. And yeah, I thought that's the thing I did this year. Yeah, good. You gotta have something you can point at and be like, oh yeah, I totally did that, didn't I?
It's nice to have physical products that you can actually grab and go, I made this. Like, oh, let's go find, where is it? Like, you can go, where is it? Like, that's the one. That is it. Like, that's crazy.
It's very pretty.
Whereas, like, I have this, which of course Crystal worked on. Yay!
Someone posted a picture of the Chicago tunnels in the V5 Facebook group today, and I was like, I wrote that part. That's my part.
Now, the things I still need to play, and let me. So I've played, and it turned up this year that I backed was this.
Ratcatcher.
So this is a solo play
game.
This is a solo play game, and it's actually really fun. It's really fun. It's so you've got let me do a product show off because I've got a new camera which allows this. So fuck it, let's do it. It's you can see tokens galore and little magic cheese, and what you have are you pick the trays in here they provide are really good. So you have to hold on, let me find the right bits. There's a lot of stuff here. You're a rat catcher that has to clear out the town of Bree, classic of rats, and you procedurally make the town. You see the little arrows, that's where the things connect. And you draw these out and you put them on. The markers you can see there are where things are placed. So rats, cheese, items, health, and so forth. But the cards, I think, are just generally good for, like, I can see it's using for, like, Warhammer to procedurally generate a village that you're running through if you need to. And while you're killing rats that come in different
around, aren't there?
Yeah, while you're killing rats that come in different forms, there are also
magic
there are also they're trying to get all the magic cheese. So you're trying to get 10 of them, and they're trying to do the same thing. There's also peculiar rats like this guy who can turn up, or are you randomly determining which ones turn up to kind of, make your life hell, like the Mad Ratter, or what's another favorite? Let's see. No. Or this one. the backer rat because he just likes collecting Kickstarters. So you've got to fight them.
His name was going to be Bert then.
But also,
I didn't know I made it into that game.
The other thing is, so you've got there's 6 different rat catchers you can play as, and they have lots of upgrade trees.
Oh, cool.
So that's pretty cool. Wow. And you can see there's slots. So these are not just a single tray.
Nice.
That's
that's so
keep
cool.
your widgets in. Like this dude is pretty cool. And you should randomly determine before you play the game which of the epic kind of nemesis rats you fight against. So there is this all the nemesis rats? Let me just check. So for example, there is it's because they're double-sided, aren't they? Yeah, there's the brood mother, or the rat king, or there's where's the other one? No, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. That's it. There we go. We've got the abyssal rat and also the Moor. So it's a fun little solo game and is well designed. And one of the other things I got with it is you can get you don't get these with the core game, but if you backed it or you can buy it separately, you can get the little meeples of the individual peculiar rats and nemesis rats. So, and as you kill rats, you collect them in your tally cage, which then you trade in your killed rats to get upgrades. So it's kind of cute, kind of fun to play. I should play some more over Xmas and see if I can do any better, because it's fucking hard as a solo game. And then the other thing which I need to play, but Sam does not like this game, because the thing I've learned is, you know how when you play a role play game, or when you play, or even a war game, everything is right in front of you. You know the rules, they're there, you know how everything works. Whereas I learned, James, and we looked this up, and Sam confirmed it for me. Some people really hate playing CCGs, because CCGs require you to be aware of not just what's in your deck, but all the other cards everywhere, and all the other cards are all exceptions to the rule of the main game. Yeah. So Sam hates card games, which is cool, which is fine. But I do need to play is Rivals, because I got sent as a freebie the Nosferatu and Gangrel expansions. And so from what I know of it and what I've read, it's kind of Vampire the Eternal Struggle, but in a limited in a non-collectible format.
Yeah, and far simpler.
Yeah. Though I do have a bunch of classic Vampire the Eternal Struggle cards around here at some point, which if I was to properly work out what there was of every card, I could possibly sell for a pretty penny. I don't know. I don't know if I should do
a load of MTG cards and made a crap ton of money off it, not realizing what they were.
When I divested from Magic the Gathering, it was great. So that's other cool game stuff that arrived in the last few months. Other than the Batman miniatures game, which I still need to play properly, but the new edition is much better.
That's what I heard. Good stuff. Well, it seems like we've all got some great things to look forward to, and we definitely have a lot of content as well for the podcast coming up real soon. I did some interviews at PAX Unplugged.
Who did you interview there?
Oh, I interviewed Joe Pitt, DJ Toreador. He does the streamed Montgomery by Night. Really hope that's correct.
I think so.
Okay.
He does he's also guested on a bunch of other streams too.
Oh yeah. I played some Werewolf the Forsaken with him one time. It was pretty solid. And then also Jen Bracis, who's an independent artist who freelances a lot, and also our friends Mark and Rick, previously from Gehenna Gaming, now doing Mondo Cane Publishing, which is a pretty neat brand new company, and they had a lot of great insight into like starting up a company and that kind of stuff. So it was pretty exciting to hear about.
I mean, the other thing I need to play is I've got lurking around. I got given to me as a gift was Gaslands.
It's so much fun.
I need to basically buy a lot of Matchbox vehicles, and
I've heard that's a really good game.
It's tabletop Mad Max. I've played it a few times, and it really is tabletop Mad Max. You are racing around, blowing the crap out of everyone, and post-apocalypting your Hot Wheels cars.
That's basically what I need to do. So I think that's it. If there's nothing else to be said, have a fun holiday if you're watching this, and hopefully the Krampus brings you all the ill-gotten gifts you desire.
Takes away the children that you don't.
And you get a chance to play some fun games with family and friends, because Christmas is great for playing those certain games which you don't crack out too often, but you do just to annoy family and friends, because what's more fun than playing Monopoly at Christmas and having an argument? Like, grim. Like, don't play Monopoly. Monopoly is the worst game to play at Christmas. Never play. It's the worst game to play in general. But yeah, have a good Christmas and holidays in general, and New Year. And we'll be back. I mean, Mike, you'll mostly be getting out the PAX episode fairly soon.
We'll talk about it after the show.
Yeah. And obviously, if there's anything content-wise you want us to cover, then send us an email at darkerdaysradio@gmail.com, or you can come over to Instagram or Twitter at darkerdaysradio, or Facebook Darker Days Radio, or onto our Discord channel, where you can talk about, maybe show off what you got as presents, like for Christmas or whatever. Have a look. Just, share what interesting games are out there, because there's a lot right now, actually, and it just gets harder and harder to keep up with, because there's always more stuff and less time to play these things than ever. But yeah, have a lot of fun. It's been a good year despite everything, and next year, despite it being complicated, we will do some fun content, so stay tuned. But that's all for now. So we'll say goodbye, I guess. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
This has been an episode of Darker Days Radio. Special thanks to Occam's Laser for the intro, outro, and new bumper music from their hit album, 9 Circles. Check out the rest of their work at occamslaser.bandcamp.com.